Hey guys, let's talk information. Simply put, information covers the information available to you as a driver in order to make decisions throughout the rest of the routine. This comes down to what's going on in front, what's going on behind and to the sides, along with consideration towards things that we may not be able to see yet, i.e. what I call the unicorn rule. We do this by splitting it into three areas: take, use and give. We take in the information available around us through watching the road ahead and use of our mirrors, potentially even shoulder checks as well. We use that information to come up with a plan for our position, our speed, gear and so on. And as that information changes, our plan can change as well. Then we give information. This is through things like signalling and positioning. We can communicate to other drivers to let them know what our new intention will be. Let's take a look at a few clips, see what information we can collect, how we'd give information, and see what you think. Do you think I'm going to miss anything? If I have, leave it in the comments below.
Okay, so let's start off quite simple. The brief is, at the end of the road, we're going to be turning left. What information can you gather? Okay, let's see how you did. There's a few things here that might change how we approach this junction. Let's start with the first clue. The instruction was, at the end of the road, turn left. So we know we're likely to be approaching a form of junction where we're going to have a give way or potentially a stop line. Having a closer look at that junction itself, at the moment the view is extremely closed off. We can see from the trees and hedges on both sides that the view is not good on the approach. Coming a little bit further towards the car, we can see we've got a pedestrian crossing with the highly visible yellow bollards on each side of the road. And before that, we've even got a lay-by on the left. And of course, we have the pedestrian on the right-hand side as well. But how many of you noticed the bus stop? And what would that mean as we approach this junction? Okay, let's start with the more immediate issues. The lay-by on the left with the parked cars. Do we know if they're empty or could the doors potentially open? Also, could a pedestrian potentially step out from between the cars? The other problem with the lay-by is it may prevent us from signalling as early as we would like to for a junction like this, which could mean we end up braking before signalling. Remember, your brake lights are a valid signal just as much as your indicator. Just want to partner them for the best effect. The bus stop being on the right would mean that buses will be oncoming. So potentially they could be coming from the left-hand side or right-hand side as they enter the road. If they come from the left, they're likely to cut the corner. If they come from the right, they're likely to swing wide. Would this impact on the position we would need? And then the pedestrian crossing itself. The fact they've put the bollards in means they want you to see this. Where could the pathway be? We can't see it at the moment. So could there be pedestrians or even cyclists using that pathway? We'll only find out as we get closer. With all of this information, it suggests that there is a possibility we may need to pause or stop before we actually reach the junction itself. Okay, so now let me talk you through my approach to this junction. Okay, so I'm going to start by checking what's going on behind me with my interior and left mirror while keeping a position away from the parked cars on the left. I've started to brake. As I pass the lay-by, I can put my signal on. Approaching the pedestrians, quick check. Nothing's there, so I'm clear to continue, and then I'm looking for the bus. No bus in sight. I can see that it's clear to my left and clear to my right, which means I can roll through the junction safely. I roll through at the low speed of about 5 miles an hour, and then build back up towards the suitable new limit for the road I've just joined.
Alright guys, really hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed putting it together, but we are just scratching the surface with information here. With this whole system, and you're going to see as the episodes develop, we need to use it flexibly. You know, there's no set way of doing this. Information is constant. It's a shroud around the whole system rather than just information. Information, position, speed, gear, acceleration. It's information, position, speed, gear, and acceleration, because information is constant. You're never going to stop taking in the information, and that information can make a change to your position, speed, gear. And when that information changes, you might go back, position, speed, gear again. So think that through, use the system flexibly, and think about everything we could look for. Think about things like the vulnerabilities of cyclists, animals, other effects, other hazards we can look for, weather conditions, time of day, location, tons and tons of stuff. Hopefully I'll be covering it in another video at some point, but this was a very quick thing to put together just to really show the intricacies without going into too much detail, because I don't want to bore you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. So if you have enjoyed it, do all the YouTubey stuff. There's like boxes, comments, and subscribey thing up there for some reason. The video over here for some reason. Who knows? Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one.